It's time for our Unified Bank Nailers profile, and tonight we talk with Nailers forward Joshua Winquist, who's coming off of playing in his 300th professional game. And Josh, that's quite the milestone to hit. How special is that for you?
I didn't know it beforehand, and then, my family was happy. It's a pretty big milestone, but, I've got a few hundred more in me, so we'll see how it goes.
What's the path been like for you going through your career, playing in some of the different spots that you've played in here in the ECHL, the AHL, and also getting a chance to dabble in Europe as well?
I've honestly lived in all four corners of the U.S. I've hit Central USA. I've honestly had a tour of it. So I've pretty much got a read on this whole country. I've lived in quite a few states. Living in Europe was quite a bit different. I was there during COVID, so we weren't allowed to do much. We had to wear masks when we were walking outside, and all we could really do was hang out with the boys on the team and go to our apartments. So it wasn't that much fun. But I'm gonna go back there eventually, just hopefully when it's more open up and free.
When you look at some of the places that you play or that you want to play, how much does the off ice play into it, and how much obviously are you looking at a spot where you can have great success on the ice too?
Yeah, you're obviously looking at the hockey stuff. Off ice, the life part is just kind of a perks. Like, for example, one year my roommates happened to know a bunch of people in the area, and they ended up hooking us up with Ocean House because it sat empty for 6 months. So it's just kind of, you get lucky, and that's just kind of the stuff you deal with, and you hope for the best.
This season, you joined the Nailers partway through, started to get into a role, then unfortunately ran into a tough injury where a guy got suspended for a hit. But now that you've gotten back into the lineup, it seems like you're picking up right where you left off. How challenging is that to try and have that mojo that you had going so well?
Honestly, with my career, and I've been doing this going back to junior, 11 years. I've been injured quite a few times, so I've just always thought you got to just stick with it. And I feel like you don't really lose your hands and your thinking. It's just mostly your cardio and your legs. If once you get those back, I feel like the game comes easy again.
You experienced the rivalry last year of Toledo and Fort Wayne. That's been a heated rivalry for years. It's something that's really developed over time. Now, seeing Wheeling play Indy and Fort Wayne as much as you have, there's obviously a hatred that's boiling over this year between those teams. How do you either compare or contrast the rivalry, particularly with Fort Wayne, based on Wheeling and then Toledo?
Last year was a little different. So Toledo and Fort Wayne have been rivals for countless years, and we actually went 10-0, 10-1 against them last year. So it was it was kind of one-sided, so it wasn't that much of a rivalry last year. But, this year, Fort Wayne kind of has our numbers, so we gotta take it to them and turn it into a bigger rivalry.
There you go. What was it like a couple of weeks ago? You guys had a chance to go to Florida for the first time this season, get a little bit of a difference in your schedule, and I'm sure it was nice to be able to get some warm weather in there too.
Yeah, actually, they have a really weird ice sheet. Their neutral zone's a lot bigger than usual, and their in zones are a lot smaller. So that was kind of different hockey. But it was obviously nice. It was 30 degrees. We were enjoying it, like Celsius. It was really hot, and it was nice. We had a day off, and we got to enjoy the sunshine. So that was really nice.
What's the second half of the season going to be like for you guys? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of work to get to where you ultimately want to be, but I have to believe that you guys have some small goals along the way to kind of help manage you guys along.
Just win games. Just win games. Find a way to win games. That's it.
What's the psyche like? What's the group been like this year? You're one of the older guys with the group. What's that been like? And you've actually had some guys in your age bracket come in as the year's gone along.
Yeah, we have quite a few rookies, and then we have quite a few guys who are about 25 to 30. So we have two age groups, but everyone's been one big group, and it's been pretty nice so far.
What do you have for advice for some of the younger guys as you guys are going into quite the stretch of games where you're pretty well going to be playing 3-3s almost to the end here?
Yeah, my roommate Duchesne and me were actually talking about this last night. It's just, these young guys, especially the college kids, they aren't used to 70 games, and especially with this compact schedule. You just got to forget about the day before, whether you played great or played terrible. The next day is the next day, and we have 30 some more of these games, so you got to move on quick and forget about the previous day.
Because of how many young players there are, how excited are you about this group, not only to finish this year, but what they have a chance to build, and hopefully you're a part of it as well, going into future seasons where if you can get a foundation set, there's no saying how far this thing could go.
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure about how that's going to work next year with the freeing of COVID and how everyone's going to go back to their previous teams. I hope we can stick together. I do like this group. If they can stick together, I feel like it'd be really good, but like I said, with all the wild stuff that happened this year, guys switching teams a week before the season, I think next year might be a little bit of a gong show as well. But hopefully COVID can get settled down and we can get back to normal.
Well, it's been certainly fun to watch you guys and have the ability to have you here in Wheeling this season. So that's been great. You've been tremendous. You've produced at an incredible rate. So we're lucky to have you. And Josh, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me today.
Thank you, and it's good to be in the wheel.
Unified Bank Nailer Profile tonight, Joshua Winquist on intermission coverage. We'll come back with more on the Nailers Broadcast Network presented by Main Street Bank.